Alrighty, so here we have it, the team of players that have a podcast. As you can see, we got Kevin Garnett, Gilbert Arenas, Draymond Green, and a bunch of other players. This team is honestly not that bad, with Gilbert Arenas being a 93, and then you have prime Kevin Garnett. But other than that, the players are pretty decent other than a washed Paul George. But honestly, this team is pretty good overall. I'm gonna simulate 3 NBA seasons, and we'll see how many rings this team can win. I honestly believe this team's gonna win probably 1 or 2 rings. This team is definitely up there to be one of the better teams, but I don't really think they're gonna win all 3. Anyways, I'm gonna sim year number 1, but hopefully they do good, and let's see how they do. So to end off year number 1, Kevin Garnett actually ends up winning MVP, averaging 28, 18, and 4. And of course, Kevin Garnett is gonna make all NBA first team, but no one else on the team won an award. But everyone else on the team did pretty decent, with Gilbert Arenas averaging 23, a washed Paul George averaging 15, and everybody else did their own part. And we are gonna finish as the 2nd seed, going 54 and 28, with somehow the Knicks being the 1st seed. And we end up playing Scotty Barnes and the Raptors in the 1st round, and we do manage to beat them in 6, as now we're gonna play the Celtics in the 2nd round. Obviously, the Celtics are pretty stacked, so this is gonna be a pretty good matchup, but I honestly have the podcast team pulling off the upset. And as expected, we are gonna be tied up 2-2 after 4 games, as this will be a very important game 5, but we are gonna win game number 5, as that will be a very important win. And now we're up 3-2, as here we go, game number 6, but the Celtics are gonna beat us in game 6, so now we're tied up 3-3. Hopefully we'll be able to pull off the upset, but this is definitely gonna be a very hard game. But it is gonna be a 10-point game, and now a 12, and we are gonna beat the Celtics in 7, and we are gonna reach the conference finals playing the Cavs. Hopefully we do win and make the finals, as once again the Cavs have a pretty stacked team. But we are gonna be up 3-0 to the Cavs, as now we have the chance to sweep them. Somehow it's only a 1-point game here in game 4, so we're definitely gonna have to jump in. Hopefully we can sweep them and pull off the upset. All right, here we have it, the podcast team down by 1 with 24 seconds remaining. Gonna set up the ISO here for the game. They're gonna waste on the clock, so Gilbert Arenas has a chance to send the Cavs home, as Arenas gonna size up, gonna drive to the paint, easy blow by, misses the layup, and that might be the game. I thought Gilbert Arenas was gonna dunk that, but it turns up to be a missed layup. As here we go, here's Garland, the first free throw is gonna miss, as it does stay as a 1-point game, as Garland's second free throw will be good, so now it's only a 2-point game. No timeout here. Paul George is just gonna chuck it up, and he's almost gonna make it, but that will be it. The Cavs do win game 4, and now will be a 3-1 lead. And after games 5 and 6, the Cavs ended up winning both games. So now we're in another game 7, with the podcast team on the verge of blowing a 3-1 lead. But here in game 7, the podcast team is going to have a very huge lead. And thankfully, they do not blow the 3-1 lead, as they will now be going to the NBA Finals. But they are going to play Anthony Edwards and the Wolves, as once again, a very tough matchup for them. But I honestly believe in Kevin Garnett and Gilbert Arenas. We are going to be up 3-1, so now we're on the verge of winning a ring in year number 1. Here we are in game number 5. Hopefully we can pull it off, and by the looks of it, we will. And we are gonna win the finals in year number 1. Kevin Garnett ends up winning finals MVP, averaging a crazy 24, 18, and 8. So we now head into year number 2, fresh off a championship. Hopefully we can go back to back, as I'm very confident that we are. Unfortunately for this year, Kevin Garnett does not win MVP again, but he does end up making all NBA first team, as Gilbert Arenas also made all NBA third team. But this year we're gonna do a little bit worse, only finishing as the 3rd seed, going 49 and 33. And we are gonna have a rematch with the Celtics from last year, and hopefully we can beat them back-to-back years. We're gonna be down 3-0 to the Celtics, with a chance of us getting swept. Hopefully we can pull off the comeback, which is kind of impossible, but hopefully we don't get swept as well, as it's only gonna be a 3-point game with 1 minute and 44 remaining. Hopefully the podcast team can keep their season alive. A minute and 42 remaining. Arena pick and roll. Gonna give it to Garnett. Garnett fadeaway jumper. And he's gonna miss that one. That was a tough shot. And Tatum's gonna blow by Garnett and get the dunk. So now it's a 5-point game. Here's Arena's gonna drive to the paint. Gives it to Garnett again. A mismatch here. Gonna give it to Draymond Green. Draymond Green has Porzingis on it, gives it to Teague. Pick and roll here with Draymond Green. He's gonna shoot the three, and he's gonna make it. What a clutch shot there by Jeff Teague. As Tatum gonna bring up the ball with Garnett on him, gonna blow by him, takes a jumper, and misses it. So now the podcast team has a chance to take the lead or tie it. As Arena's gonna drive to the paint, gives it to Beverly. Why is Beverly in the game? I might want to give up the ball if I was you, Beverly. And she's gonna give it to Arenas, and Arenas gotta make the three. Oh my goodness. And now the podcast team takes the lead. One more stop here for the podcast team as Garnett. Good defense here, but rebound by Porzingis, and he gets the layup. Shot clock is turned off. Gonna give it to Garnett. Garnett gonna do a shimmy. Post hook, bang! And now the podcast team takes the lead again. As here we go. Tatum has a chance to win the game. Gonna blow by Garnett. Good recovery there. And Tatum gonna take the tough layup, but that will be a foul. I don't think that's a foul, to be honest. They should definitely challenge that. As here we go, Tatum at the line. Gonna make the first free throw. Bounces in and out. As now Tatum has a chance to take the 1-point lead. And his second free throw won't be good. So now it's a tied game, and Draymond Green's gonna chuck it up, and he's gonna miss it. So now we're heading into overtime, and with a minute and 51 remaining, it is gonna be a tied game here in game 4, and hopefully the podcast team can pull it off. And here's Arenas with the ball, down by 3, gonna give it to Garnett again. Garnett has Tatum on him. Gonna just bully him and misses the layup. Oh my goodness. Brown gonna give it to Tatum. Tatum sidestep 3. And he misses that. That could have been the dagger. As now Garnett has the ball. Gonna give it to Arenas. Arenas gonna drive to the paint. Takes the layup over 2 players and misses it. Fast break here for the Celtics. Jaylen Brown's gonna drive to the paint. Oh my god, what a snatch block there by Garnett. 3-point game with 54 seconds remaining. Draymond Green with the ball. He's gonna shoot the 3. Misses it. Rebound Garnett. And he's just gonna put it up. Good rebound there by Garnett. Tatum gonna drive to the paint over Arenas, and that will be the layup. I thought that was gonna be a charge, but I guess not. Down by 3, 40 seconds remaining. Redick's gonna give it to Arenas. Takes a jumper. Now he shoots it. Gonna make it. So now it's a 1-point game again. As here's Tatum gonna drive to the paint. Pull up jumpers. Gonna miss it. So now the podcast team has a chance to take the lead. Arenas is gonna get the ball. Almost got a backcourt there. But here's Arenas. Pick and roll with JJ Redick. Gives it to Garnett. Garnett gonna shoot the tough mid-range, and he's gonna miss that one. It's instead Jaylen Brown going to the line as his first free throw is gonna be good. So now it's a 2-point game. Second free throw will be in and out. So now it's a 2-point game. Fast break here. The season is on the line for the podcast team. Gonna give it to Garnett. Garnett with the layup, and he misses it. And the podcast team gets swept in year number 2. Somehow the Pacers end up winning the finals this year, but what a sad way for the podcast team to go out. As here we are in year number 3 after getting swept by the Celtics. Hopefully we can bounce back and maybe win another ring. As once again, Jokic is going to win back-to-back MVPs. But Jeff Teague ends up winning 6th Man of the Year, averaging 15, 4, and 7. And Andre Iguodala also wins Most Improved Player, averaging 17, 6, and 6. As Kevin Garnett will be making All-NBA First Team. And once again, Gilbert Arenas will be making All-NBA Third Team. So a very good way to end the regular season off, as we got a bunch of players that won awards, as Andre Iguodala and Jeff Teague are going to be 90 overalls heading into the playoffs, and we're probably going to make a very deep run. But this year we do a little bit worse again, being only the 4th seed, but it's only a 1-game difference from the 2nd and 3rd seed. So we had a pretty decent year overall, as we are gonna play Scotty Barnes and the Raptors again in the first round, but we are gonna be down 3-1 to the Raptors. despite our stacked roster. As here we are in game number 5. Hopefully the podcast team doesn't go out sad and they can pull off a 3-1 comeback. And in game 6, the podcast team's gonna have a pretty decent lead as they are gonna win game 6. And now we head into a game 7. Here we go, game number 7. Will we be able to pull it off? And we are gonna win game 7 by 14 with Andre Iguodala dropping 31 points. Kevin Garnett also had a good game, dropping 28 and 17. So me being a dumbass, I accidentally simulated the whole playoffs as we did lose in round 2 and 6 by the Cavs. We did end up losing game 6 only by 6 with everybody having an off game other than Andre Iguodala. That means this simulation has also come to an end with the podcast team going 1 for 3 in championships. They did start off pretty strong in year 1. I honestly thought they were gonna win another ring after year 1, but unfortunately they just went through some struggles and ended up not winning. I honestly won't consider this challenge a failure because, to be fair, this team wasn't that good, so I would honestly consider this a pass. But anyways, comment down some more video ideas. If you did enjoy this video, make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in another vid.